Hello Internet and welcome to another video on the PCGamesN YouTube channel. Ben Barrett here, joined by Mr. Richard Scott Jones, and you know what that means? It's Warhammer time, but not Total War, not Destiny Warhammer. That'd be cool.
Which is a thing. Would
that be good?
No.
No? Alright, that'd be bad. We're talking about Warhammer Vermintide 2, and that's its full title, something we may go into in a little bit, which has just been announced. And what we know is there's a teaser trailer, and there'll be a stream on October 17th. Have I got that right?
That's right, a full reveal then, and there's also a Steam page with some screenshots.
With some screenshots, and that is it. That's it. A very basic description other than that. Thankfully, Mr. Richard Scott Jones, who lovingly works for us, knows basically everything there is to possibly know about Warhammer.
Well,
and has some baseless speculation.
Not entirely.
Not entirely baseless?
I mean,
slightly baseless speculation.
Yeah.
To bring you.
So, the first important thing to note is that there's no mention of the Skaven anywhere in...
No rats.
All of the stuff that we've seen so far. So they're not in the screens.
Rat, no.
No, none of that. They're not in the screenshots on the Steam page. They're not in the description of the trailer.
In fact, there's nothing in the screenshots. They are literally just...
They're just environments.
Environment shots.
We'll talk about that in just a sec. But like, also, I think it's also notable that the Skaven symbol in the teaser trailer gets sort of smashed.
Split in half to become two halves of the...
So the crossbar gets taken out, and then there's two, and it gets turned into two numerals, or into the numeral for two. So, like, I wonder if this is symbolic of developers Fatshark maybe moving away from the Skaven slightly. There's no, as I say, there's no mention of them anywhere in the materials, and we don't see them in the trailer, and they're sort of, the symbol gets hit. So perhaps they'll be added, perhaps another Horde race will be added, and that'll be something we'll have to contend with, or perhaps they'll be even replaced.
It's weird how specifically avoided they are as well. Like, it says you must protect the realm or something along those lines, but it doesn't say from what. It doesn't even mention like a horde or anything like that.
It does. It does.
Okay, so it does say horde.
Yeah, it says. So I mean, that's in the trailer description. You must battle the endless hordes of enemies. Obviously, it wouldn't really be Vermintide if it weren't like co-op, melee, and ranged classes attacking
Left 4 Dead type thing,
attacking hordes of enemies. But that said, there's plenty of other horde-like enemies in the Warhammer fiction that Fatshark could draw upon. The undead and the greenskins are the most obvious example. So maybe they'll join the Skaven, or maybe they'll replace the Skaven. We don't really
With
know.
actually being called Vermintide, I think you can still expect there to be a number of Skaven in there.
You'd think.
But the problem is, if they want to make an entirely different Left 4 Dead type game set in the Warhammer universe, they can't not call it Vermintide because, just brand recognition and that sort of thing.
Yeah.
So if they want to make one that's all about fighting off, chaos heretics or maybe, thousands of greenskins or whatever, they can't not call it Vermintide, so they're sort of tied in there.
Now that they've had such success with the first game, I think.
Yeah, exactly. Sold 1 million copies was part of the press release that they sent over, which is impressive.
So they want that sort of franchise recognition. So you shouldn't necessarily assume that just because it's continuing to be called Vermintide, that means Skaven. Although it's they're one of the obvious horde enemies that they could retain. So that said, there are some things that we can say with a little bit more confidence.
Okay.
So the screenshots and the trailer description make it fairly clear that we're still in the Empire, right? The trailer description mentions that if you fall, so will the Empire, so that implies that we're still there. The screenshots do look like, fairly generic Imperial settings, like there's a farm with a windmill, there's a ruined town with some, masonry that looks very Empire-like. One slight exception is that...
We're going deep. I'm just letting you all know now.
Well,
this is real deep.
So one of the screenshots has a collapsed pillar with what looks like an elven North Star on it.
Okay. The
North Star being the symbol of the High Elves. And behind the pillar you can sort of see an archway that looks a little bit sort of elegant in its architecture. Ulthuan, there's no reason to suggest that this means we're heading to Ulthuan because it doesn't look like it's, the rest of... If it was ruined, it wouldn't be in Ulthuan. Yeah, and Ulthuan itself has famously never been tainted by much evil apart from...
And also the Empire isn't
massive chaos invasion that happened. And also the Empire is mentioned. So this suggests that maybe we'll go to a High Elven colony in the Empire, or the ruins of it, because the High Elves had loads of colonies elsewhere in the world. And they abandoned them all, so maybe we'll be doing a little bit of travelling within the Empire, because the Empire is still a pretty huge place after all.
And finally, it's not got the word end times anymore. So the name of the original game wasn't just Warhammer Vermintide, wasn't just Vermintide. It was Warhammer
the end times.
colon the end times dash Vermintide.
Yeah.
Now, part of the reason they might have taken that out is because that's a bad name. Just throwing that out there.
Yeah.
The reason that went up was because at the time when the game was being made, they were in the depths of the end times event.
Yeah.
It was happening in the kind of tabletop. They were ending the universe of Warhammer and rebooting it into something that we won't discuss for poor Rich's sanity.
Yeah.
But the other reason to take that out is maybe it's not set in the end times anymore. Maybe it's set just during the Warhammer universe.
Yeah.
As when the Skaven are attacking, wherever it is you happen to be, or someone else is attacking.
They'll have had to do. I mean, if given that the first Vermintide was set during the end times, there's a continuity problem that they maybe have there if they want to continue that storyline. So, perhaps, as you say, this does mean that they're setting it in a different context.
I would say the screenshots were a little less... Like, everything I saw of Vermintide was super dark.
Yeah.
And, super the end of the world is here. And those screenshots were a lot less of that. So I wouldn't be surprised to see it maybe set in a different time, just so they can do more stuff with it.
Yeah, perhaps. Just like in general 8th edition continuity, before Vermintide happened, before the end times happened, rather. Which I'd be down with.
Yeah, you'd be happy about an FPS just set in your favourite universe. So,
yeah,
okay.
Imagine that.
So that's everything we know about Vermintide 2 so far. It is not a lot. You can find out more on October 17th when there'll be a live stream. No doubt we'll have stuff up on the site about it then. We'll keep you up to date with everything that we know about it. Please do hit subscribe if you want to see more. Plenty more videos from PCGamesN coming this week and indeed for the rest of time until we're all dead. Thanks very much for joining us, and we'll see you next time.
Take care.